Good morning, everybody, and welcome to my winter wonderland. Isn't it pretty? I know, that's why I love to live here. It's a wonderful place to live. Anyways, today, well, if you don't know who I am, I'm Rita Hickman. I'm a body-mind expert and a Shiatsu massage therapist, and my specialty is helping women get healthy enough mentally, emotionally, and physically so that they can make big changes in their lives. Hey, Donna. Whether it's healing from a narcissistic relationship or dealing with being the sole caregiver for a family member, or just dealing with, childhood PTSD. Hey, Sandra, Ann, and Terry, nice to see you. It doesn't matter. My job is to help women get healthy enough so that they can move forward and take the next step in their lives, especially if they're really tired of being where they're at, and feeling stuck because they don't have the tools or the knowledge to help move them forward. So today we're talking about one of my favorite topics, and it's about speaking up for yourself. So even though I do live streams Monday through Friday every morning, I spent my life having a really hard time speaking up for myself, mainly because I was scared, because I was very, very scared of the consequences. And I still fall into that challenge at times of, that knot gets stuck in your throat or your chest gets tight. In fact, when I used to speak something that was very truthful for me, I would shake because my body would release an enormous amount of adrenaline because I was so nervous and I was so scared and so anxious that even though my voice was shaking and my whole body would be shaking because it would be in such a high level of fight or flight that I would release all of this adrenaline. So how do I do it? How did I go from someone who was a mouse, even though I did theater and music and things? It wasn't that I had stage fright, but how did I go from being such a silent person who didn't even laugh out loud until I was, probably about 9 or 10? I made a point not to laugh out loud. And then when I started to get into adolescence, I hit the point where I said, you know what? I have to start expressing myself. Hey, Barbara, nice to see you. And so I didn't let myself laugh out loud until I was, a little bit older in life because I was way too frightened of the situation that I was in. I didn't know how to handle it. And it's taken me decades to get to the point. And that's why I can speak, and that's why I can work with people and get in front of people, because this was one of my biggest challenges. So how did I work around it? Well, in the self-help field, or when people are trying to help you out, they say you need to love yourself. And I said that yesterday too. You need to respect yourself. You need to put yourself first. And that's actually kind of a little bit of a mantra for me. But people told me these things in the past, and it really irritated me because, hey, Patty, because there didn't seem to be a method or a tool or a way. I had no idea what they were talking about. When somebody says, you just need to love yourself more and then you'll be able to speak up, it was kind of like, what? How do you do this? And I would get really irritated because they had this wonderful, magical answer, but no ways to get from where I was at, shaking and crying and silent, to speaking your truth and being comfortable with it. Well, I got some great validation over this last week when I did my ad. I put an ad out and I had someone respond to it in a very toxic way online, calling me all sorts of crazy things. A charlatan and someone who victimized and preyed on women. It was really kind of crazy. But it was neat because after all this time, it upset me a little bit. My friend Patty, who's on this morning, helped me process through it. But it didn't rock me to my core. It didn't shake me. It didn't even ruin my day. Because one of the things that I've learned is that it's not about speaking up for yourself. It's not about speaking up for who you think you are. Because when we need to start speaking up and practicing speaking up, we typically don't believe we deserve it. We don't believe that we are worthy of speaking up for, or that it's safe to speak up in this situation. And when it's for ourselves, when we're speaking up for our own rights and our own, being treated well, that's almost like further along in the process. That happens only when you get your feet underneath you. You know, as my friend Patty, who teaches self-defense, you know, hey, Natalie, my Patty teaches self-defense. It's about, you know, learning that confidence and learning to speak up for yourself in a way that's safe until you're ready to speak up in other areas. So one of the ways you can practice this, one of the ways you can get good at speaking your truth and not being afraid of it, is to speak up for your values. Speak up for what you believe in. So if you believe that all people deserve to be treated with respect and kindness, then when someone is treating you disrespectfully or unkindly, you don't have to come out with, you're treating me unkindly, you're treating me badly. It can be like, no one deserves to be treated badly, including me, and I'm standing up for that. Do you see that slight difference, that slight shift? You know, think of our ability to do things as a scale. On one side of the scale, we have all the things that make it easy for us and support us and nurture us in doing whatever it is we want to do. In this case, speaking up for yourself. You've got, you know, friends and family, and you feel good, and it's a good day, and, you know, that can get you speaking up for yourself. On the other side may be insecurities. I don't deserve it. Is this safe? What will the consequences be? And we're always kind of in this, you know, back and forth. Hey, Kellyanne, nice to see you. We're in this back and forth between what stops us or sabotages us and what will move us forward. So one of the tricks we have to use sometimes is to play kind of mind games with ourselves and get the things that might stop us. You know, like it might stop me from speaking my truth if I was just speaking up for myself. If it's just for me, it doesn't matter. It's no big deal. No problem. No, it's fine. I can handle it. I can hack it. It's you know, I've got strong enough shoulders. You know, and that's a wonderful thing because it means that you've got tremendous strength. But we also need to learn how to start speaking up for something, for anything. One of my favorite philosophers is Alan Watts. And yeah, he was pretty messed up. He was in the 60s, of course. But he would say, love anything. And that's what will start to grow. Love an M&M. Love, you know, chocolate. Love squirrels. Love whatever you can love. And that's what starts to nurture it and grow. So if you can't speak up for yourself, speak up for something that matters to you, that does matter to you. Hey, Angeline, something that gets you ready to be confident. You know, we've all seen women who've been a little quiet or more shy or in the background. They are the women you have to watch out for. Because once they find something that motivates them, that moves them, now they have the ability to speak up. For the people watching, it seems like a total turnaround. Where did this person come from? But I always know the quietest women are the ones that have the most to say. So if you're not speaking up for yourself because you're strong or because you can hack it or you don't want to make waves, you do need to start learning how to speak up for yourself. And so you start speaking up for other things that matter to you. You start speaking up for animals, or you start speaking up for how women deserve to be treated. Hey, Tara, and hey, you're a woman, so you deserve to be treated well, too. Once you start practicing speaking up for anything, then you start to get feedback. You start to see that, oh, wow, I stood up for myself, or I stood up for my values, and that bully backed down. Well, that's weird, you know, or I stood up for the right of someone else, and it worked out okay. Well, that's weird too. You start getting self-esteem and experience around speaking up. So when you can't speak up for yourself because it's too gripping, it's too terrifying to say, you need to stop bullying me, or this needs to change, or I need a raise, you can do a little brain hack that says you're not speaking up for yourself yet. You're speaking up for the whole. So when you as a woman go in and ask for a raise, you're not asking for a raise for you. You're asking for a raise for women. You're making a stand for women, and you're honoring all of the women that came before you, all of your ancestors and all the women who fought for women's rights and who got imprisoned and jailed. That's who you're speaking up for. That's what you're speaking up for. And that collective consciousness, that collective power gets you over that last little hump that keeps you from speaking up for yourself. And once you get some confidence behind it, once you get some experience and some self-esteem, you develop the ability to speak for yourself. Because now you know that the world isn't going to come to an end, that everyone won't abandon you, that you'll find out who your friends are. You'll find out that sometimes you can really win the argument and get what you want because it matters to you. You have to speak up for the thing that matters to you. And if right now that's not you, that's okay. It's okay if it's not you. Do what you have to do to start getting that practice and experience, okay? So if you can't speak up for yourself, speak up for the things that matter to you, which could be women's rights, which could be the rights of human beings, which could be everybody else in the office, which could be the people in your family. How many women have left abusive relationships because they wanted to protect their children? They made the move because they knew that this was damaging their children. You don't always have to do things for yourself. You can do it for very good reasons. And as a sidecar, you kind of come along. You kind of come along as in you benefit as a result, okay? So here's your homework assignment today. I want you to find some forum, some way, whether it's Facebook, whether it's in person with somebody, whatever it may be, where you can speak a truth. You can speak something that you're passionate about and get that experience and practice about speaking up. You know, when I did my ad, first time I really put something out there to an international audience for the coaching program that I've been taking from one-on-one in person to a more international level so I can really help women. What gave me the courage? Because I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it for something that's even bigger than me. I'm doing it for something important, really important. It's not saying I'm not important, but we all need that little motivation, especially women, to do things that are big, you know, because if it's just for us, we'll say, it's not worth it. That's not my values. But when you start speaking for your values, when you start standing in that role of who you want to be, that's when your voice starts to come out. There was this, the doctor to Madeleine Albright, when Madeleine Albright was in the White House, you know, when she was working there. This was the psychologist for Madeleine Albright. And she would say she was standing up for the role that she represented. She represented the United States government. So she wasn't standing up for her, you know, and all of her insecurities and does she deserve it and will it work out? She was standing up for the United States. And so when you stand up for yourself, you're standing up for something big. You're standing up for your values, for all women, for all children. Hey, Krista, for all human beings, for all animals. That's what you're standing up for, okay? And so use that. Use that to get your practice and your experience until it's no big deal to stand up for yourself, because you know you are just as worthy as everybody else, okay? So cool. Find some way where you can speak your truth, there you can stand up for something, anything, and start getting some practice speaking up. All right? I hope you have a great rest of your day. Happy Friday. Have a wonderful weekend. And I will see you on Monday. And if you need any help, yes, standing up for your values, Krista, there's a lot of virtue in that. And a lot of women don't know how to speak up for themselves. So we have to find some other vehicle or some other reason to do it. So if you're feeling stuck, if you're in a relationship with a narcissist, if you're a caregiver and you're getting worn out and your health is starting to go down and you're fight or flight or you've got PTSD, contact me, because my job is to help you get healthy enough so that you can do the miracles that you're here to do. Have a great rest of your day and great weekend.